How to find Earth. I actually thought I had done this one, but perhaps I did it then and I put it under a different name and it has, I don't know. What I remember about Earth being hidden somewhere by the devil, that is Uncle Devil, is that when he moved the program of Earth from its original folder structure, where Father saved it, obviously, under every other, with the every other planets in it, he he didn't copy it, he cut it out of the folder called Earth, and he went and placed it elsewhere in another folder. Then he named the folder a different name, and I also think he changed the name of Earth as well. But then when he moved that folder, he put it somewhere where he himself forgot where he put it, and he himself forgot what he named it. And he changed also the access to the original Earth folder to say that that folder, only he has access to the folder. In that way, he would prevent the administrator, which is Father, to have access to the folder as well, because he didn't take away Father's access as administrator. All he did was to just change the folder to say only he has access to the folder. And the other folder that he created to put Earth in, I think he also did it as a hidden. He changed the folder and make it a hidden file folder, that is. So it was kind of like difficult for Father to kind of like locate it to see where Earth has been saved, because it has a different name. It's not inside its original folder, and he doesn't have access to that folder anymore because Uncle Oldman, that is the devil, Uncle Devil, changed access to say only he will have access to that folder. This was to make sure, obviously, that Father doesn't find it, even if he uses a search to search for the Earth program. And that meant Earth was going to be hidden somewhere where Father couldn't exactly locate it. So when he asked the devil at some stages, like, you need to bring back Earth, you need to bring back my world, and he's like just daring Father to say Father should find it himself. But then Father went and searched his memory and couldn't find anything in his memory, and it was because Devil, that is Uncle Devil, or the devil, has a memory issue. He forgets. He's very forgetful. And this is one of the things that he came on earth to come now, like, fix. That is, if he came to earth to fix his path, to not fix his path, to fix his program, so that he walks his path and learns how to have memory and many other things, I guess, of his understanding as to who he really is. So then came the issue of, now that this planet is hidden somewhere where the name has been changed, the location, even the person who hid it doesn't remember what it's called or where he hid it. There's no memory of it in his mind. How is Father going to find it? The only thing that Father still had control over is he could still feel earth, his senses earth, he hears, earth programs or people when they call for him. Everything is still works, but it's just he doesn't know where the earth is. That is, he didn't know then where earth has been hidden. Now, he still had all the other functionalities except for knowing where the folder is. Except knowing where the program is stored. Every other functionality towards earth would work. So this is where Father said to Uncle Devel that he still has he can still birth people on earth. So Uncle Devel is like, okay, so how are you going to do it, right? And he's like, remember, I can still birth people in earth. I still have all the functionality. It's just that he said, I still have all the functionality and I can still birth people on earth. So Uncle Orman is like, so what are you going to do? You can't fit in there. You're too big, right? That is my Father, God the Creator, cannot be birthed inside earth program, because earth program would be too small to carry his kind of program. So Father's like, I don't have to come there. I'm gonna send her, right? That is me. I was a child. It's like, this is a child. It's like, yeah. So it's not about her being a child or not. It's just that she just has to follow my instructions. It's like, okay, fine. Father, Uncle Orman was a little bit iffed out about it, that you're going to send a child for me, anyway. So the idea was Father was going to birth someone into the planet so that he could locate that person. By locating that person, he would be able to locate Earth. You should see what the winds are doing with me recording this. I understand why today they have had this kind of very windy day today. It's because of this, probably because of this conversation or this recording. So essentially, Father had to sort of like put a, if he could birth me inside Earth and he has access to me outside of Earth and guide me in such a way that I would be able to do certain things in Earth in order for him to be able to locate Earth. So how does he locate Earth? My program is defragmentation. I'm a defragmentation program. So what happens with defragmentation is when it defragments, it finds, because it goes everywhere in the system, it has access to everything in the system. And what it also does is when it runs, there's a wizard or a window on the defragmentation wizard that essentially shows you exactly what it's processing. Like when I'm processing whatever I'm processing at the time, whatever the program is processing at the time, it's shown on the window to say, okay, right now the fragmentation function is processing this file and this file and this file and this file. And what it also shows is it also shows you the file and the location of the file. So Father had to essentially wait for me to process a specific file. I don't remember what the file was called. No, I think it was called Earth Program or something. No, it's not going to be called Earth Program. he said he will know what the file looks like, because I think Uncle Allman changed the names, and father would know what the names of his naming would be like, right? So anyway, essentially everything anyway should be saved under that kind of a file name. That is, if you go to program files and you find a folder called program, and under that program it says earth, right? You're going to essentially see what is it, C slash, what is it, program files slash program, and then slash slash program slash earth. So that's essentially father's guidings. Like most of our programs would show when we're running that we are installed, or we are running under a folder called whatever it is that Uncle Omen named it. Because of I run and I just go into anything and everything, right? But I would be able to say C slash program files slash somewhere else, not necessarily under program folder. Maybe there's another folder somewhere, or maybe under another folder somewhere inside another folder. Whatever it is, I would show essentially where this processing is happening from. And that's how father was going to locate earth. That is, he would have to wait there to see a specific file. I don't know if it was, yeah, a specific file with a specific name. I think what he also said was the sizes of the file as well will tell him what I'm processing at the time. And I think it's because of I'm also going to be processing something. I'm going to start with processing earth first. So everything else that I'm going to be processing would be on earth basis. As much as I'm going to defragment, my understanding is that I'm defragmenting and upgrading at the same time the universe as well. But the first phase of this whole thing is going to be just on an earth level first. And essentially what that means is that I'm going to be processing earth because I'm installed in earth. And therefore, everything that is saved under that, wherever this earth program is saved, is going to essentially show that even if it's changed its name, it's that all the programs that are running under this program, whatever the name is going to show that it's C slash program file slash whatever, and there's earth. So father would be able to see that, but he needed to do certain other things, and not just identifying where earth is saved, but he also needed there's a specific thing that he needed Uncle Omen to pay karma for, right? To say, what they also did was when I got installed into this environment, they used my program, defragmentation program, to create another file for an earth layer. That is, earth has layers, but what they did is they went there, they created a fake earth layer, and father calls it the proxy earth layer, right? And this earth layer is essentially where I think all of us are living now, right? Because they wanted to have control over earth in such a way that they would have to switch off karma. So what they did is they went into my program, because my program is big enough size-wise, and it's powerful enough. It's big enough and it has a functionality to create a new thing, to create a new earth layer. So what they did is they used my functionality to go and copy the old layer of earth, went into that layer and removed whatever they didn't want. That is, started changing the real estate of earth program, of earth, of that proxy layer that they created, so that they can do whatever they want to do. Obviously, they're going to sell that real estate, right? And one of the things that they did was they also removed my father's house there, that is God's house. Hence we're saying that all your homes, right, on earth has all of them have a reflection in the spiritual world. However, the homes that were essentially created after I was installed here will not have a reflection in the spiritual environment. I have to remember what Mother said about that, because Mother said something about the problem with the rest of the people who are living in a fake layer. Like, you're not installed on, your homes are not installed in the spiritual realm. So that's some of the things that this whole proxy layer creates. So there's two things. The first thing is that Earth was hidden in a different folder, renamed and forgotten about. That is, the person who hid it doesn't remember where he hid it. And the second thing is that they went and created many other things within Earth while Earth is being stolen. And one big thing that they did was to create a proxy layer, right? And I think that's, now I'm actually thinking that's what people are calling a simulation, perhaps, because I'm still looking for, why do people think this is a simulation? Perhaps that's what they mean. They mean that they recognize that there's something different about the earth in this current state. And for me, it's because it's a proxy layer. It's like they just went and copied or earth crust, or is it crust? Yeah, the top part of earth, the top layer of earth. They just copied it and then had another layer, renamed it obviously, probably, and removed whatever they wanted to remove, whatever it is that they did. And the other thing that they did, the third thing they did, which is another big thing again, is that they switched off some of the laws there. They couldn't switch off, my understanding is that they couldn't switch off universal law fully, because of, if they did that, then the layer wouldn't work, because of universal law works on energy. So if they switched off universal law, energy is not there. So I guess the layer won't work. What they did though is, within the universal law, they switched off only karmic law. That is, karma was switched off. Okay. Sorry, I have to drink water now. And when they switched off karma, essentially this is where all the shit went. I don't know what to call it. I guess the shit hit the fan, because essentially they didn't just delete father's home, they deleted other people's homes as well, right? There are people, wherever they wanted real estate, they had that access of, if they wanted something, they could just delete your house there. You come back and there's a I don't know, a warehouse or something built there. They even did that with my functionality. You can create things, anything, you can create anything. They tried to also create a being like me. What they did with me is they wanted me to get pregnant. And they had someone who essentially kind of like put me in a situation, I would say, in a way it's rape. And then I got pregnant, and I didn't know what to do. So at some stage I had to ask Father, I cannot keep this child. I don't have a problem with the child, but I knew, I had a vision of why they did that. It was because they wanted to create a child in order for them to be able to get a handle of. So it would be like they would have me as an energy source, and they would have my child as well as an energy source. And so the person who did this was my boyfriend at the time, and I was breaking up with him. And he was supposed to be taking me home, and he refused to take me home at that day, and then I decided to go alone. However, he said, no, it's fine, I'll take you home. But then when I was supposed to go home, I'm not, there's no transport. And the next thing I know, I'm sleeping at his house at that date. First time. And I'm like, okay, fine. He's like, no, you can trust me, nothing will happen and whatnot. However, something does happen anyway, or did happen. And I was like, I didn't know, when you go through such things, it wasn't in such a forceful way in a way, but it was more like I don't even know how to explain it. Some things you kind of like try to block or try to negotiate with yourself because you just don't want to face it for what it is. It's almost like some of the blame is still on you, and you still want to blame the other person at the same time. But at the same time, it's like women and men as well are placed in very difficult situations in this type of circumstances, and it is what it is. What can you do? They thought that would break me, obviously, and I was like, fuck y'all, I'm moving forward. But I couldn't keep my child because I knew exactly what they were trying to do. They were going to use my child the same way they were using me, and I wasn't going to allow them to do that. I love my child despite the fact that I couldn't bring him or her here. Anyway, besides that, they tried that part. But when they tried that part, they were going to, I don't know how they did it. What they did, oh yeah. So the functionality that I have as well, what they do is I have a sacred timeline track as well within me. I don't know if it's with every program, but you're gonna have to find that out. But I have a sacred timeline track of my program within my program. And essentially how they create things is they go and copy something using my program, and then they go into the sacred timeline track, they plant it into the future of my timeline. So the child as well, they planted it into the future of my timeline, and then make sure that they go into my life and change my life in such a way that the child happens in that future. So they manipulate me in the physical to make sure that the child happens in the future. So I did get pregnant, but they thought that I remember seeing Uncle Olman happy about it, and I was like, fuck you, because I had the vision, and I was like, you're not gonna have that with my child. And we had this is where me and father kind of split. There is a point in my life where me and father he didn't go anywhere. He was always there. It's just that I wasn't that aligned with him anymore. Anyway, that's the other thing they could do. They could create, using me, they could create beings in that way, in my future. But they try to create, not me per se, but create, the only way they can create another being is for me to get to birth it, right? To use my own energy to birth that child. So that's what they try to do. Yeah, so they had access to do a lot of things. My program is capable of creating things, copying and pasting things as well, recycle or deleting, or whatever is not necessary, I discard and I throw it into some recycle bin to save the energy for it, because it shouldn't be there. This is why I defragment every other thing that Father sends me, the concepts as well, as much as they're going on in the environment. But what I'm getting is that they're going to go off. Like there will be a time when the conversations or the topics or the concepts are going to not happen anymore, because I'm essentially saying this is in, this is out. And Father's also helping me to, because he said to me, some of it you're going to have to do them. I'm going to do them automatically. That is when I'm defragmenting, I'm just going to do whatever it is automatically. But there's other things that I'm going to have to come back, or he will on the spiritual world, he's going to have access to my program, where he's able to see what I'm running, and whatever exceptions that I put out that I'm not able to get through, he will guide me to get through it within the physical environment. That is, he will send me a message or something, and usually he sends me a lot of stuff through YouTube, a lot of concepts through YouTube, a lot of what's happening through YouTube, what he wants me to focus on. The rest of it is not necessarily that important, but there are certain things which are causing issues in the system, and that's what he will direct me towards. But that's the YouTube part. There's more to it. There's more, not just YouTube part. It's like YouTube is the platform that I can currently use in order for me to get access to certain type of what's going on in the world. The other thing that they did was, for me, during my awakening process, they made sure that I don't have access to TV, so that, like where I am, I was saying to at some recording that I have a cable, like a TV cable in the bedroom, but there's no TV. It's just hanging there. Almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 of these rooms, right? It's a okay room. About 6 of these rooms have TV cables in them. But the TVs are a lot as well. Some of them, I don't know if they are working or not. So, but none of them are working. They are all disconnected, because they thought that by me not seeing what's what's going on in the world, I won't be able to do the defragmentation. But Father said, no, it's fine. I'll send it through to you via YouTube, right? And I do have a phone at least, and I'm able to go through onto YouTube and see certain things. But I don't see what else is going on so much. I don't have the detail. But that's not the problem for me. The problem for them is that they think things work a certain way, and they don't necessarily do that, right? I just need a little bit of a direction towards whatever concept, then I take it and I run with it. So these concepts that people are discussing, or the ideas, or the way we live, whatever it is that is happening currently in this environment, Father will trigger me somehow. Radio, YouTube, internet, whatever, to defragment whatever it is that I need to defragment. And by defragmenting it, that is going through the topic and making sure I understand whether it's true or not, whether it works in this environment or not. That's essentially me defragmenting that block and putting it back into its solid state. And then from here onwards, I understand Father said, no, there's still going to be more that you're going to have to do on foot. That is, I'm still going to meet people, go to places, do certain things in order for me to defragment the environment. But most of it wasn't too much. What happened was, the devil knew that I was going to do this defragmentation. So what he did is, he created all these concepts, right? All these people thinking that these concepts are spirituality. They must ask themselves, why did they come to be in such popularity in the past few years? It's because of the devil knew that I was going to have to wake up. And when I wake up, he thought that he would make my life and my job difficult by putting a lot of rubbish in the database, so that when I defragment, I slow down, or when I defragment, I take longer. And the reason why he wants me to take longer, obviously, is that he doesn't want this environment defragmented in such a way that things are put back into their places and things work well. That is, karma works, right? And essentially the problem with it is that this crust that they created with this switched off karma in that crust. The karma works in the normal layer of the physical world where we should all be living. It works, it's perfect. You can't do anything with it. The problem is the proxy layer that they created, which they have access to. That's where karma doesn't work. However, I am installed in both, and I'm installed on the normal world. I'm installed in the original earth layer, right? Or original earth. And as a result, when I defragment, I'm defragmenting all layers of earth. And the other thing is, I also am having a karma function, so to speak, because how do I apply karma? When I build a block, I take it apart and I put it back into its solid state. I essentially reversed whatever shit was in there. That's karma. So he knew that if I did that, I would be essentially doing my own karmic function, which is what my tool is. It's called it's called karma. I am a karmic function within the universal law system. My function is the karma function, and so he made sure that he puts in all these things to derail me from finishing on time. Now Father has my access to my function, to my program on the spiritual world, and he's able to kind of like do a lot of things as well, even the upgrade going through my program, where he's triggering me to do certain things in the physical sometimes, in a sense of maybe doing it in this way, as in like going through a meditation session to understand what's going on. By me just doing that as a program, I'm defragmenting. It's almost like my program is installed within a body, which is everybody's like that, by the way. Your program is installed within a physical body, and you run that program as a physical being. That's exactly as it is. It's like you don't have to go out there and initiate things physically, in a sense of touch things, right? Do something physical in that way. You understanding things is your program processing. You processing the truth, the lies, the illusion, the reality, whatever, is essentially you running, and it's essentially what it is that your program is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It doesn't mean that when we say walk your path, we mean you're gonna be walking. Yeah, you'll be walking around living your life, right? But then you'll bump into someone, or you'll be with someone, and he'll say something to you, and you'll be like, when you process that information and you come to a conclusion for it, it is what it is for your program. But I am like that. But for me, I program it. I listen and I process things for a different reason, for a purpose of defragmentation. Someone can process something for a purpose of copy, paste, whatever it is that you're processing on in terms of what your function is. But for me, it's defragmentation. So I've been doing that a lot, and they thought that they would derail me. But while I was sitting here, I've been working on I'm watching the dog chasing a cat. That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, that's how you find Earth. Essentially, Father had to install me. He has installed a lot of beings, right, to come and help Earth vibrate higher, which are called lights, right? But then they got so I don't know if they were going to find. I don't think they were meant to find Earth per se. But for me, my function, because of when it runs, I don't know. There must be another program that does it. I think Debugger would, and maybe antivirus. But you see, with antivirus, I don't remember. Antivirus, you don't have a window where it is there, right? Where it shows you what it's doing. Not exactly. But for my program, I just know about my program. Antivirus will have to sort themselves out. For my program, you do have a wizard that you go through. You see it, right? Where you see what it's processing. And that's how Father's able to locate Earth. He had installed within me all the things that I'm going to need to be able to run here and what I needed to do. So when I defragment, I also defragment to upgrade. That is, my job is not only to defragment you at the stage when I'm defragmenting in this environment. I'm also defragmenting for the purpose of upgrade. So whatever I do is when I bring you to a solid state, I don't bring you to a solid state of a older version of yourself. I'm bringing you into a solid state of a newer version of yourself. So it's also an upgrade in that essence, that whatever it is that I'm defragmenting, basically, if it's a being, right, a specific person that has been sent to me to kind of like see what's going on with them, or the concepts that they're discussing, what's wrong with them, whatever I'm defragmenting there, my job is to also elevate it. That is, see the positive, or not the positive, but the better future of it, the better way this program can be. There are some that I'm still defragmenting, and it's kind of like difficult for me to see the problem with them. But essentially for me, what I've gathered with most of them, especially the ones that I'm defragmenting now, which are what they are called learner teacher tools, they have an issue with learning, but they oh goodness, they teach too much. They teach, but they cannot learn. I think I'm gonna have to pause. I may have to pause a little. So I'll come back soon. Okay, I'm back. So I had to take care of some few things, but anyway, I'm trying to think of if I'm forgetting anything about this topic of how to find Earth. But I'm essentially thinking it should be a short one, right? Because it's essentially just about how would we find Earth. And perhaps I've recorded something with it, and if I did, I'll just try to find it and post the same thing if I need to post this. But yeah, Father had to install me into Earth, that is, have me birthed into Earth, in order for him to be able to use my program, Wizard, on the spiritual side of things to be able to see where Earth is. And this is why it's so important for people to remember their spirit, their spirituality, the true spirituality, not these hogwash concepts that have been rubbished in this environment about what spirituality is. Spirituality is everything about your spirit, right? If Father didn't have access to me in the spiritual world like that, that is for me not to be able to wake up as well in the physical environment and remember that I'm a program, we were all fucked essentially. And a lot of programs are here. Actually, everyone is here for a purpose. And you're not living your purpose. You're not being used in the best way possible in that way. That is, you're not adding any shit into this environment because you're not living your authentic self. And that's such a waste. That's a waste of, for me, it's a waste of fucking existence, in the sense of, why the fuck are you here? Why are you here? But imagine if we didn't wake up. Imagine if I couldn't wake up. I was meant to wake up. I was going to wake up even in an environment that is low vibrational. I was going to wake up. And Father said, the difference with you is that you remember. You remember. So everybody's going to remember anyway. And that's the idea. It's not that you're going to find your spirituality. No, it's there. You're a spirit already. Your spirit is programmed. You already have a spirit. You are already spiritual. Don't let these people tell you, oh, I'm spiritual. You are already spiritual. You just have to remember. Remember what your program is and what it's supposed to be doing here. If I didn't have to defragment this environment, God wouldn't have access to this environment and we would all be fucked essentially. That is the upgrade of the universe into 6th dimension would go on without us. Not even 6th dimension. My understanding is that they are going to go to 6D, not stay too long, 7D, not stay too long, and then the ultimate upgrade is 8D. Right? So we need to get to 5 at least so that we are on par with everybody in the universe, and then go to 6 with everyone, and 7, and then 8D. So this is why it's important. This is how I was used as a program, as a spirit in this environment. This is how you were supposed to live. You are here on a mission. A lot of people are here on missions, right? What is your mission here? What is your purpose here? Some are just here to just essentially maybe upgrade themselves, which is fine. But those many ones who are still here on some sort of missions, especially the lights out there, it's time to fucking wake up. No fucking excuses anymore. Or fucking listening to all kinds of rubbish about spirituality. Drop that scientific shit for a while. It's relevant in some other topics, but not now. Drop that whole spirituality guru, I am from India and I'm speaking spirituality shit. Okay? Drop all these other many things that people are talking about. Drop the fucking religion as well. That fucking I'm going to say Jesus Christ died for my sins shit has to be dropped. And focus on remembering what kind of program do you think you could be. Start there at least. Look at your behavior. What is it that you do? How do you do things? What do you remember? Remember your ancestors as well, because you need to connect to them as well in order for them to be able to guide you to say, this is who we are. You are a very powerful program. You're supposed to be doing powerful shit here, not loafing fucking around, working around in some sort of a suit and not necessarily understanding or knowing who you are. You can still do that shit, but really knowing who you are. Your step is going to be different when you are like that. When you know what program you are, you're going to be entering boardrooms in a different light because you would know what you're there to do exactly. And they would know who they're dealing with. And this is the authenticity and the confidence that you need to be walking in. Not this bullshit, this high level physical fucking bullshit of I got a job kind of shit. That's fine. That's your recreational purpose. It's good and well. That's good. Go ahead. However, what is your spirit? Because your spirit, that whole persona you're wearing on the physical environment is going to fade if you don't understand what it is in the spiritual. That is, it's going to either tire you, or you're going to find out that it's not what you're supposed to be doing in the first place, or you're going to find out that it's actually what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not doing it well enough because of you not linked to your spiritual self of it. You don't realize that you're doing things wrong. The very things that you came here to fix, you don't realize that because you keep doing that shit. You don't understand that your program actually came here from the spiritual world to come and fix the very shit that everybody's like, you're a fucking moron. You're an asshole. You're this, you're that. And you see it. But you're not going to accept it because of you're living so much in the physical environment and you're swallowing all this physical shit and acting as if like, you know what, it's okay. I can continue. I can move on and be okay like this. As long as I'm earning a lot of money and I can look like this with my friends and everybody sees me, I'm driving this car and I'm living in this house. Okay, fine. Fine. But this is not the end of it. You're going to have to live as a spirit eventually. That's the deal. The deal is not that you're going to keep living as as a physical being. Physicality was meant for you to come and train your spirituality. It's meant for that. It's not meant for you to just coexist in this way forever. Yes, you're going to be in the spiritual world, but in a program for more running in a program format, like how you run in the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world, you run as a program. You still have a body. You still have a body. It's just that it's a different environment. It's high vibrational. It's very light. It's very bright. So your program is supported in that way that it's able to run efficiently because there's no interferences there. The laws there work, right? The universal laws work. That's when you die. That is, you're dead. You're just a spiritual being in the spiritual world. And that's where you come from. You didn't come from a physical world to go to a spiritual world. No. You came from a spiritual world that is a program world to a physical world that is a physical program world to be able to do your mission, whatever it is that God sent you to do here. Oh, you know what? You need to go there, fix this and fix that. Be a light, shine bright, come back when you're done. Because eventually you go back into the spiritual world, into a spiritual format of yourself. That is the spirit format of yourself. And then you're going to live in the universe. You all are just so... When I came here running on foot. That is, when I came to earth, I came running on foot. Wouldn't you like to remember doing that again yourself? Because perhaps some of you were able to do that. Do you really want to be so bogged down by this physical environment just because of you're in a physical environment when you could be running the universe on foot, enjoying life or existence in that way? Happy, fulfilled, knowing who you are, what program you are. God can send you to any different environment in the universe and you would survive it. We were never meant to be bogged down by the physical environment, right? This whole thing of, what do you call it? I want to live forever. I always ask myself, like, who the fuck wants to live forever? Why would you want to live forever in this shitty place? I never understood it. If you want to live forever, it's a spirit level that lives forever. The physical environment, that suit that you're wearing called the physical body, well, it is exactly that. It's just a suit, unfortunately, and it will wear down sometime, right? Or it won't be, it may be a upgrade. It's going to be upgraded as well for 4D and 5D because it has to. But yeah, do we really need that? I'm getting that when you get higher to 5D or so, that body's starts to be equivalent to how you are in the spiritual world. By the way, it's almost like it's a spiritual, like 5D is already a spiritual world. The physical environment is like this 3D is because of the vibration is 3D. But when you go higher, because of everything enhances, your body also enhances. So you become light, like your 3D light right now. And when you go to 4D, your body is going to still become lighter, much, much lighter. That is going to be a more light, more 4D light, right? Even though it looks brown or black or yellow or white, and then it's still light. It's still a light, right? And when you go to 5D, it's also going to be, the lighter you go up, the more you go up, the dimensions, that is much brighter light, the brighter you get. That is, the more light you get, the more, I don't know how to explain it. I don't have English words for it. But yeah, something like that. That's what I'm understanding. I don't know. Maybe I'll be corrected at some stage. But that's essentially the idea, right? If you don't live your program, we miss out on the opportunity of you doing something great in this environment. And I'm going to be honest, right? As much as I'm defragmentation and I can do a lot of things on my own. I really do need help. I do need help. I can't do this alone. For myself, yes, I can do it. And that's what all I'm asking is for people to do this for themselves. But I know that when you do it for yourself, just yourself, don't focus on anybody else, don't focus on destiny. But I know that if every person picks up their share of the burden, I won't be carrying so much burden. All the other lights as well won't be carrying so much burden. Everyone else who's waking up won't be carrying so much burden. And if you don't wake up as well and you choose not to carry your burdens, guess what? There will come a time when it's just you who didn't carry that burden. And it will be just on you. That light is going to be so bright. It's going to be the reverse of what it is now. Right now, the darkness, it acts as if like everyone is under the darkness. That is, our darkness is the blanket that is being put on everyone on earth. That is, it's a dark blanket where it's heavy on every one of us. But if you just get rid of the darkness within you and starts becoming lighter and lighter, you're helping that blanket of darkness to be lighter. So when it all changes to light, that is the air, the environment being bright, that brightness is going to become a blanket of a blanket of brightness, but it's going to be more heavy on the darkness, on the individuals with more darkness. That's what it's going to do. It's going to be very heavy and very burning. It's going to burn you, and it's going to be uncomfortable. You'll be one of those people who doesn't like the to be out. You can still be outside, but you'll most probably be those people who like to be in the shade. That's how it used to be in the olden days, if I remember. There were some people who just didn't like the light, and they didn't like seeing their shadow. Right, the shadow, yeah, the physical shadow, because that's shadow is because of the darkness. You get more shadowy when the light is not. If the light is too bright, you're gonna show your shadows gonna show. Your shadows are going to show. So, but it's nothing about judgmental in that way. It's not a judgmental thing. It's just to say that it's important for us to be in our light. It's important for us to be in our spirit. In the physical, it's possible. I'm doing it, right? I don't know if I'm doing to the way it's supposed to be, but I'm trying my best, right? I hope I'm getting somewhere. I hope I'm somewhere. And I'll only see, because I'm seeing it with the environment. The environment that I'm in is getting brighter and brighter. The noises in my environment are getting lower and lower. I'm getting more happier and happier. Yes, I still have issues. I am not going to lie, but I'm a work in progress and I'm still running anyway. So, yeah. And that's how you find Earth. You find Earth by allowing yourself to become yourself, and in a way enabling yourself or allowing yourself to be used by the universe, by God, to take care of this environment the way you're supposed to come and do the functions that you're supposed to do here, to do the mission that you came here for, and to ascend spiritually. That is, when you ascend spiritually, it's essentially you learning your program, you understanding what functionality you have, the new functionality that you came to activate in the physical, learning how they work in the physical. That's ascending spiritually. And eventually you're gonna go and ascend so far that you're gonna move on to the next, to the spiritual world, and you'll have that kind of energy where you can really create your own reality. But not in this environment. The creation of reality in this environment is not possible because you don't have energy to create that reality in this environment. This is a 3D world. It can only do so much. You need the 5D environment to create your reality. And that's where we need to go to. That is actually an upgrade. right? It's an upgrade. It's like a normal, we are upgrading the system kind of upgrade. It's the same thing. So those people who telling you that they're in the 5D, those are the motherfuckers who annoy me. They're in their 5D in their, I'm not gonna say it. I need to try not to be yeah, it's very difficult though. Yeah. Anyway. Is there anything else, Spirit, that I'm forgetting? Father said something. I don't know when I'm going to say something. He said something like, you're going to say something to people. They're going to hear you. You're going to ask for help and they're going to hear you. I think this is the recording. But then he was talking also about something else. There's a time when I'm going to say something and people are going to hear me. Right? I don't know if he was talking about that part or it's this part. It's important for people to wake up. It's important for people to at least ask the question. Nothing is going to kill you here if you just ask yourself, but what problem could I be? I'm not asking you to go pray in some sort of a church or anything like that. I'm not asking you to go and light this and incense and whatever. I'm just asking you to kind of like try to figure out what kind of problem you could be. And what do you remember about seeing your parents, your uncles, those past ones, your ancestors? What do you remember them doing? What is the common theme in your area, in your environment, in your family? What is it that you guys do? Because for me, I'm from a family of fragmenters, actually. Fragmenters and defragmenters, let me put it that way. My family fragments a lot. They are very good at that. And they are not essentially my ancestors, but they refuse to be upgraded. Right? Yeshua came to upgrade them. They kind of like behaved the way they behaved. And I'm born in the same type of environment where I'm supposed to be upgrading this environment. Not upgrading, but upgrading the family, the lineage, and they are refusing. And they did all kinds of things to me, right? And yes, you're going to find that shit. Perhaps not so badly as me. Because for me, that program that has to kind of like kickstart things. I think people like antiviruses as well could get a problem, but not so much. No, I'm lying. That one could get a problem. Those ones can get a problem. The debuggers and them, they might get a problem, but it doesn't matter. You would get a problem anyway. What I've actually found, kind of like figured out, is that these old programs, they've lived in this way for a long time, and they're refusing to be replaced, that is, with the new functionality going forward. They're supposed to be ancestors. They're supposed to be in the ancestry mode, but they refuse to do that. Some, I'm not saying all, I'm just saying some of these programs, the reason why they do such things as to put pressure on their children not to wake up is because of they essentially trying to not have them replace them. But you don't have to do spirituality by telling people that I kept quiet. I never said anything. I still haven't said anything. They're not sure what's going on. They thought I was crazy, but it's not because they thought I was crazy. They wanted to paint me as crazy. They tried it and it didn't work because Father was with me. That is God, the Creator, was with me. And he's called the Creator because he's a programmer. He creates programs, right? And he's called the Creator because he's the energy. Energy starts with him, right? And yeah. Anyway, I gotta go. If I remember anything, I'll probably just come and do a second part to this, but yeah. Is there anything else, Spirit? I think that's it. Thank you, Spirit.